Okay,
lambat pula.
okay.
Tunggu lah tu.
Dah.
Dah.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, this my name is Muhammad and with my member Azraf, we will be presenting for the critic board for PJ Trade Center. So PJ Trade Center, which is Selintol International Perdana, why is an office development designed by architect Kevin Mark Law with consideration to an economically and environmentally sustainable construction. We focus on environmentally friendliness and energy efficiency. The PJ Trade Center is an award-winning building which makes use of locally sources raw materials and natural lighting and ventilation to craft a low-maintenance, energy-efficient masterpiece which is appreciated by all. There are four tower. There are four tower which makes the PG Center, and the scope of our study is centered on Block A of Bibodis Menara Mustafa Kamal. The 22-story tower operates by MK Groups, connected to the other blocks by a 2.5 at Plaza. So the concept for this building, which is PJ Trade Center, starts with the observation that office development in Malaysia and generally in the region is often not based on the optimal solution. The typical glass, steel, and aluminum box is repeat over and over again, regardless of the local culture, climate, context, and construction methods. There seems to be a need for all the office developers to follow the same direction in order to gain credibility. The glass boxes get more and more complex and more incommunicable. It seems uh, very difficult to change and do something different. So is it about is readily available resources to craft an office building that is appealing and distinctive. At the same time, the building should be environmentally friendly and energy efficient, minimizing the use of air conditioning. It should stress simplicity and design economy, as well as have a strong connection to nature. It should allow it should also be allow maintenance and be able to weather gracefully. So the PJ Trade Center offer a new path for office development, one that is sensible and suitable, sustainable and responsible. So the past is relevant for the majority of cities in the world, especially those in the developed and developing countries where the office rentals are comparatively low and construction budget are constrained. So through its success, PJ Street Center has shown that office development in these cities can flourish without copying the typical office glass box, instead with careful planning and skillful design, so the office can be more sustainable and responsible by being based on the local culture, climate, and context and construction method. So I will pass it for Azra.
So next one, we move on to the natural feature of the PJ Trade Center. Um, on the north side, on the east side of PJ Trade Center, there are mostly man-made feature. But if we look at the west side, there are hill. Its topography is terraneous, and it is full of trees. So it helps in form of cooling PJ Trade Center in the middle of the urban. So next one, we move on to the physical attribute. As I mentioned before, the area topography is terraneous, and if if you face the north, you can clearly see the big hill at the west of PJ Trade Center. So, and PJ Trade Center is located in between the highest ground and the lowest ground of the site. So during raining day, the water will flow from the top of the hill, uh, and the rain will pass through PJ Trade Center. So PJ Trade Center has a very good sewage system to cater that, and go to the lowest ground level. You can see it marked in the picture in the diagram, and that used to be a lake but reclaimed and turned into a residential development. The next one is cultural and man-made features. So PJ Trade Center utilized double skin feature to cater the noise coming from the east which is from the highway, and the sun, which PJ Trade Center is actually very unfavorable in terms of its facing its the building face, which is it face the east and the west sun, the morning and the evening sun. So in order to cater that, the designer used double skin, which is a method that has two surface, and um, but not that they also use double skin to hide mechanical components such as air conditioning. Uh, the double skin material they use is concrete van block, and this also help to cool uh, the building more. But although double skin method has a very good has very what do you say? Double skin has very is very good. The downside of it is that it limit the view from the building to the surrounding. Okay, and the cultural feature for PJ Trade Center is the courtyard. You can see in the picture, uh, and it it also use metal grating. You can also see in the picture there. Why they use metal grating is for the airflow of the building, and as you know that air flow from the from below to the up. So by using metal grating, the airflow will not be um, flow more good. So next one is sustainable landscape concept. PJ Trade Center, during the process of designing the PJ Trade Center, the designer main idea is to reduce energy in terms of lighting and air conditioning, and also the maintenance cost. Because because of this, they use a lot of local product such as concrete, facing brick, metal grating, the governance metal grating, and many more. So, as I mentioned earlier, they use concrete vent block as a cooling method for the building itself. This will not only help to cool the building, but it will also it will also have less cost than using air conditioning. And also, the concrete vent block act as a block as a shading device, especially on the east facade. Uh, as mentioned earlier, that the double skin help to uh, minimize the sun from entering the building. Okay, and the building also use a lot of vegetation, um, trees that surround the building, because the vegetation helps to filtrate the hot air and allowing cool air to flow inside the building. And I will pass back to Uzai for the conclusion.
Okay, thank you, Azhar, for the presentation. So in conclusion, the PJ Street Center has redefined a high-rise workspace in tropical countries into a unique office building with sustainable and contextual design by utilizing eco-friendly building materials and vegetation into spatial design as passive design approach. So this concept effectively respond to the local tropical climates and other physical characteristics of the context, which is greatly craft the space quality, fitted design to achieve optimal user comfort. So this approach not only is user friendly but also environmental friendly. So the concept of growing greeneries that spread on unfinished building materials makes the building livelier as it ages. It forms a balanced city remain with building design blending and merging with the surrounding context, thus ensuring the longevity of the building and create strong and harmonious connection among user, building, and context. So that is all from us. Thank you.